Harley Davidson of Santa Clarita, California.
Now, how did you get into owning a Harley Davidson shop?
I'm a smart businessman.
Well, that's you were all straight to the answers.
You want me to extrapolate on that?
Yeah, would you mind? Because I heard there's a story behind it.
Is there a story behind it?
Is there a story in specific why you wanted to work with Harley Davidson?
Oh, well, I feel like I was indebted to Harley Davidson. Billy Idol was going to be the T-1000, and he got in a motorcycle accident riding a Harley Davidson, which created a vacuum, as it were, that was filled by Robert Patrick when he got the opportunity to audition for the T-1000. So, in gratitude now, I sell. Kind of smart.
Very smart.
Kind of ironic. Kind of prolific.
And
Yes,
Billy
I got
Idol
him laughing right there. This guy knows nothing about me.
He's like, I'm not even sure where we
Yeah,
are right now.
Where he's at.
Billy Idol was a musician back in the 80s.
Billy Idol is still a
Yes,
very good
he
singer,
is.
songwriter, and musician who plays quite a bit. Yeah, so Harley Davidson of Santa Clarita. So a good friend of mine owns Glendale Harley Davidson. And I've been a biker for a long time. My first film was a biker movie. I played Warlords from Hell. Was the name of the movie. I played a psychotic biker. And that was the first film I ever did for Roger Corman back in the day.
Oh, wow.
And I had a lot of fun doing that. I've been an active motorcycle club member ever since. So there we go.
What's your favorite bike?
The Road Glide Limited, I think, is the best bike. The Ultra. Road Glide Ultra is my favorite. I also love the Diamonds. But I just I did a 22-day trip across America. I rode to the Vietnam War Memorial for Memorial Day weekend, and we demonstrated for the POW/MIA issue, the burn pit issue, and also the Love Lives On issue, which is something that we're trying to build, that we're trying to get passed right now for the spouses of the men and women in our armed forces. If your spouse dies, and say you're 27 years old, you've got like 3 kids, and your spouse died, killed in action, training, whatever, you get benefits for life, for the rest of your life. But if you were to meet someone else and fall in love with them, marry them, you lose those benefits. And it just doesn't seem to be very fair, especially when less than 1% of our population serves in the military. So I think that people need to do more to support their veterans to fight to protect our country. And I'm speaking to a Canadian and American audience, and I think that's relative to both. So, but I don't know your situation in Canada, how you treat your veterans.
I think we treat our veterans pretty much the same as in the States.
You have a different health
healthcare system, yeah.
We have a different way of going about it in the United States, and we're more pro-military. We would rather have a stronger defense and less socialized medicine. I'm really trying to avoid politics.
Maybe this will get us off of it, but it's still staying on the track a little bit. I do notice that you do a lot of work with military.
Well, that's out of guilt. It's out of guilt. It's out of guilt that I didn't serve in my country. When I graduated high school, I graduated right after Vietnam, 2 years after Vietnam ended. And the way the Vietnam veterans were treated when they came home from the war, the way they were treated by their fellow countrymen was despicable. They were spit on, they were called baby killers, they were mistreated horribly. And it made the military look like something that I didn't want to get into. And I come from a military family. My family's served in the American armed forces since the Revolutionary War all the way on. And it ended with me. My grandfather was a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army. My father couldn't serve because of asthma, but I should have gone into the military and I didn't. And the reason was the way they were mistreated.
Right.
So as a result, and the guilt that I didn't serve my country, I now do everything I can to help all my friends that are veterans.
That's
Well, we definitely applaud you and all the work you do.
I appreciate that. Well, I appreciate that. I'm not as much as it's very nice of you to applaud me for that. That's not the reason I do it, but yeah, I've had the good fortune of playing a lot of different roles in the military, and so I really do feel that God gave me this platform, and it's what I'm supposed to use it for.
How does your origin story begin when it comes to acting?
I failed at pretty much every other thing I attempted in life. And it was sort of a last-ditch effort of really trying to give some sort of purpose to my life.
What was it that, what was the catalyst, if you will, that got you into acting?
It was really the only thing that interested me.
Really? So was there someone you were looking up to at that point already, or just?
No.
You're just like, I just want that money, that life.
It's the only thing that seems to be that I'm attracted to. I like to tell stories. I like to pretend that I'm somebody I'm not. I had moved around a lot as a kid. We moved to different parts of the country as I was moving around. And every time I moved, I created a whole new Robert Patrick.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I got really good at it. I also have a grandfather that's a con artist. So I had one that was in the military and I had another one that was a con artist. And the con artist grandfather said, you know, if you believe it, it's true. And that's what acting is. So that's what I do.
So
how about that?
And you've been in.
Is that what you were expecting?
What is happening here? Mind blown. I like it over there.
It's a true story.
He was doing his own T1000 right there.
Your mind's blown? It's a true story. I mean, acting is nothing more than everything you did as a kid. And we're just adults that we try to keep tapped into that imaginary world that we all created as children. You know, it's just
You played in a lot of action roles. You mentioned playing a lot of
What
roles.
is your name, by the way, guy sitting on my left?
I'm Steve.
Steve. Nice to meet you.
I'm Zeus.
Zeus. I feel like I know Zeus. Steve, I wasn't sure. Are you with a V
Yes.
or a PH?
I do.
All right. Now that we all know.
We're not sure if it's PH bound.
By the way, are you guys here for the Peter Weller panel or the Robert Patrick panel?
They were kicked out of the Peter Weller one.
Because when people look at me and go, hey, you're that guy, and I go, yeah, I'm Peter Weller. I do it all the time.
I thought you were John Cena's dad.
I'm John Cena's dad, too.
So there you go.
You can't see me.
You've been in so many iconic movies.
I got lucky, man. Well, you know, I pick the jobs I want to do, and I really act for myself. I mean, it's not like a conscious choice of, well, what would my fans like? I never.
And that was going to be my question. Like, do you have you've done like a lot of comedies as well. Do you enjoy doing the comedy? Because you are known for your action roles, I think.
Yeah.
But you've shown up in some like Strange Wilderness is one of my all-time.
That's
I just want to laugh.
I was
about
kidnapped by the pygmies,
yeah.
tied to a wooden stake.
And not to mention like
And they ripped open my scrotum with a stick. And my balls fell into the dirt. And I scooped those balls up and repacked them in my scrotum and sewed it myself. It's a true story.
That had nothing to do with the movie, by the way.
That's the monologue from the movie. I'm kind of amazed I remember
Yeah,
that.
that was really
Fuck, I'm
good.
65 years old. I'm surprised I can remember when yesterday was.
So I'm guessing that you enjoyed doing the comedy roles. Like, I mean, you even got to be, most actors only get to play a role once in a movie. Like, you got to cameo as the T-1000, not just one movie, but two movies, Wayne's World and Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne's World. Funny story about that. Mike Myers?
Mike Myers, yeah.
He did not want me to do that movie. Lauren Michaels, the producer of SNL, strongly suggested that it would be great for me to do that movie. Mike Myers said, no, it wouldn't. Lauren Michaels said, yes, it would. Kind of went back and forth.
Yeah.
Penelope Spheris ended up contacting me and asking me to play the part of that police officer. We filmed it, T2 was still in the theaters. When they premiered Wayne's World, I went to the Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard with my wife and Penelope Spheris to watch the movie, and much to my amazement, that particular bit got the biggest laugh in the whole movie. We had this, I had this really strange reaction. Like, how the fuck did that happen? Shit, I didn't think it was going to be that funny. But it got a great laugh. And maybe that was why Mike didn't want me anyway.
Well, we always
Who knows?
We always knew that Lauren.
He was a nice guy to meet.
The nicer Michaels.
You know, I found a Polaroid from Mike Myers, and he signed a nice Polaroid for me. So I still have it somewhere.
He heard he had to be nice to you. If not, you're coming for him.
Does anybody know of Port Credit, Canada?
Yes.
Did you ever hear of Hooper's Pharmacy?
That's,
That's my wife's family.
oh,
She's from Port Credit.
yeah, that's.
I married a Canadian.
Yeah, it's not bad. That'll always give you an applause here.
Yeah, I know.
So, have you tried poutine?
You know, that's the thing I've noticed about Canada. They got some really good looking women. A lot of really good looking women.
I do not want to get canceled, so yes, yes, you're all lovely. No, so we've been watching it throughout. I feel like my entire life I've been watching.
How long
it.
is this podcast?
This goes forever. We're going to be here till 7 o'clock tonight. No.
15 minutes in?
We're 15 minutes in.
How far do we gotta go?
How long do you want to go?
I don't know, dude. Zeus, it's up to you, buddy.
Zeus is up. How long do you want to go? Do you guys want to know the real truth here?
No, we don't.
We want to go deep here. Now, I think one of the first times I recognized you was in Die Hard 2. In that terminal scene. The terminal
That's
scene.
right, that's
Yeah,
right.
that was a big one.
Who are you? A sitting duck. What do I look like to you? A sitting duck. You know, Zeus, I practice that line so many different ways, different line readings. A sitting duck. Sitting duck. Thousands of ways to say that line, and I finally came up with the way it is in the movie. Yeah. There's that guy sneaking out right there.
Well, that's the T3000.
That guy right there. He knows my brother Richard really well. I think it's that guy. Yeah.
It's that
It is that
guy.
Yeah, my brother Richard's a guitar player. He used to play for 9 Inch Nails.
Oh.
Now he has a band called Filter.
I've seen them.
Hey man, nice shot. That's my kid brother. You didn't know
I
that?
did not know that.
You don't know your Robert Patrick.
Get off the stage.
Get off the stage.
Get off the stage. Get off the stage.
You fucking slacker.
What? Where's your link, Gladys? So you get Bruce Willis there.
Bruce Willis.
You got Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis killed
Then
me.
you get Arnold
Bruce Willis
Schwarzenegger.
killed me, and I was on the soundstage, and I was laying dead. I never forget this. And I didn't, I'd done 8 movies for Roger Corman. So I knew that, once you're dead, you're kind of dead. And you sort of lay there because you don't want to move, because you don't want to adjust your posture or anything, because they're going to take pictures of you. But I remember laying on that stage. I can't remember, it's sound stage 20. I was laying down there, all twisted up. I'd been shot. I think I laid there for about an hour and a half. Bruce walked by and said, "Somebody better check on this guy. I think he's got rigor mortis." I remember that. But I was a real, I wanted to do good, man. I wanted to do good. That's one thing for sure.
Well, you definitely stood out in that movie because it's like a character. It's one of those characters that I liken to the first Die Hard movie with, and I forget the Asian actor's name, that he's the Mars bar as they're getting ready to breach Nakatomi Tower. And I'm like, your character stood out, and then to see you in the next time that I saw you, that I recognized, was in Terminator. And I'm like, my God, there's my guy there.
Well, that Terminator, well, not only did working with Roger Corman sort of get the attention of James Cameron, who's from this area, we discussed, and so starting with Roger Corman, so he kind of knew what I had gone through, and if I'd done 7 movies for Roger, obviously I'd done something pretty good because Roger kept going to me. But then Die Hard 2, having done that, that was my first studio movie. And as a matter of fact, the money I made from that movie, I bought my wife an engagement ring and asked her to marry me. And then about 6 months after that, I got the audition for T2. It was funny, it was one of the things I said to Cameron when he said, I want you to do the movie. And I said, well, I gotta have these 2 days off because I'm getting married. He looked at me like, what? You sure you want to do that? And anyway, so yeah, so Die Hard 2 was great. It was a great experience.
And then Terminator, there's the
And that helped me get that movie.
Yeah, and then the classic story was your conditioning, like, because
yeah. Well, I was smoking 4 packs of cigarettes a day when I got the audition for T2, and they loved how severe I looked. And it was really because I was starving. We were so broke. I didn't have a lot of money. I was doing a play, and I had to give all that shit up. I was doing a lot of recreational stuff too, and a lot of things I was doing. I had to quit to start training for T2. So, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. I have children that are grown now, and
you don't want them hearing this story.
yeah, I don't know.
They know. And now
Before I give up a lot, I trained for about 4 months with the Israeli Special Forces guy, Uzi Gal. So yeah, we did a lot of running, a lot of training, judo, weapons training, all sorts of stuff. I was training so I wouldn't blink when I was shooting the gun and reloading the gun and all that kind of stuff.
pretty intense. I think a lot of people don't realize what goes into each and every role.
Well, that's the only role I've ever done.
Really?
Oh, fuck, I've never worked that hard on anything since.
You're telling me you didn't work that hard on Peacemaker? I thought you went into,
It's all that. It's all that. I did train a little bit for Peacemaker. Just a little bit. I kept working out a little bit. Yeah.
So, and I know...
It gets harder to work out as you get older.
I mean, I'm 48 and I hate it. I don't do it. This is me working out now is lifting this mic.
Yeah, it's hard to do. It's hard to do. We're busy and stuff.
If anyone does have a question, like
they're all starting to look a
there.
little bored.
It's there.
If they're all starting to look a little bored. This guy, I talk to him every day. If I don't talk to him, it's not the same. It's just not the same day. I can't have a day without this guy. Am I embarrassing him? A little bit?
Ask the girlfriend, see what she says.
Yeah, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the local celebrity you have right here. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, my question. What was it like to work on Peacemaker? Because I've watched that and it is fucking hilarious. Your role, like, it is
Peacemaker is a vile, disgusting, one of the most ugly human beings I've ever played in my life, and sure was fun. It was like, when I got called, James Gunn saw me on Perry Mason, that I did with Matthew Reese. And he said, he called me during the pandemic. He said, Robert, we were on a Zoom call. He said, Robert, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I based this character on the character I saw you play in Peacemaker. And you are just one of the ugliest human beings ever. You're a white nationalist, xenophobe, homophobe, anti-Semite. You hate everybody. The biggest racist, demon you could possibly imagine. And I was like, wow. What did I do to deserve that? And he said, but it's funny. It's funny. And I said, okay. So it's kind of like Archie Bunker on steroids. All right, I'll give it a shot. So when I read it, it was just, you can't help but laugh at how much it, and the weird thing is the guy's a genius. Right, he's an engineering genius. He designs all peacemakers' helmets and all that kind of stuff. And on the other hand, he's this racist son of a bitch. So, very offensive.
Very offensive, but very, very memorable. Great question.
But funny.
Fucking love that show.
Great question. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, Robert.
Yes,
First
sir.
off, you're much better than Peter Rather, by the way.
What?
What?
How could you say that about one of
Because
my
how
friends?
today was more interesting than you.
But Peter's a great guy.
He is, but his father at high school seminar yesterday.
Well, he does a lot of lectures.
But actually, I have some questions for you.
He is a professor. He is Dr. Peter Weller.
Two questions. First question is, what was the experience like working on the Terminator 2 with Josh at Universal Studios? And the second question is, how was the experience like working on Balls of Fury?
Fury.
My balls were on fury. Balls of fury. That was an interesting movie. I can't recall much about it except I played a Marine, a sergeant, drill sergeant kind of guy. He was a real stern father. I think Dan Vogel was the son of mine. I had a scene with Chris Walken. I was all excited about the scene with Chris Walken. He didn't have any dialogue, but he was supposed to be in the scene, but he sent his photo double instead. So I was really bummed out about that, since we had the same hair. So I don't really remember much about it, to be honest with you.
And about the Terminator 2 attraction, how was it work on that?
I'm not quite clear on what he's asking.
Terminator 2 with Josh at Universal Studios, the Terminator 2 Battle Cross Time.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. Terminator 2 Battle Across Time. Yeah, that was the 3D thing that we did, which was essentially T3. Yeah, that was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thanks, brother.
My
Good questions.
pleasure.
Good
A lot of
questions.
running and I wasn't in good shape. It was harder to do because I was out of shape. This guy looks like a butcher right here. What?
That is Bob the Butcher.
Is that Bob the Butcher?
That's actually Robert, but
Oh, Robert. Okay.
we'll go here then. You're next, Robert.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Crabtree, Mr. Crabtree. I am a really big fan. I'm a disabled veteran, Gulf War, Air Force, and I appreciate everything you have done for us, sir. And you may not have served in the military, but I thank you for your service to us.
Wow, that's very sweet. Thank you. It's very kind of you to say that, and interestingly, we're actually doing a documentary. I failed to mention that earlier, called "Ride for America" that we're doing, where we're literally riding across America. I ride with a Vietnam combat vet, and I ride with a combat controller. Do you know what a combat controller is? Combat controller, for those of you who don't know, is the most advanced special forces we have in our special forces cadre. They're the elite, most elite, because they can call in airstrikes. And there's only 500 combat controllers at any one time in the United States military. So it's a highly selected, specialized group. Like one combat controller goes out with one group unit of Navy SEALs. So there's like one of them that goes, and they're trained just like the Navy SEAls or Rangers, Green Beret, and all that, the highly advanced special forces group. I happen to be the ambassador for the Combat Control Foundation. Very proud of that. And we are, thank you, we are, we're riding across America, and we're also spending a lot of time with Gold Star mothers, Gold Star families. And those are families that have mothers that have lost sons, families that have lost dads, so forth and so on. And we spend a lot of time with them as we're going across the country. But it culminates with the Memorial Day and Rolling to Remember and all the Harleys riding through downtown Washington, D.C. that's been going on.
I think I can honestly say you've done more not being in the service than you ever would have been in the service.
Well,
I honestly, as a service member, I appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
Actually, my question for you is also about the Red Dragon character.
The White Dragon.
Or the White Dragon.
Yeah, there's the White Dragon from Peacemaker.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I've dabbled a little bit in like little roles for my friends and stuff, and there was one I did that was a really abhorrent person, really racist, really against people with disabilities and using R-word and all that stuff. And I had such a hard time getting through it.
Oh.
Did you have any problems getting through? How did you get through the racist dialogue? And because you seem like such a nice man that, I mean, you pulled it off completely. I mean, it was a complete, but you're such a nice man, and the acting job is just so phenomenal that you did there. How did you pull that off without hating yourself every time you said it?
Well, I didn't
one of
take it
those
too
words?
serious. I didn't take it too serious. I mean, it's serious in nature, his attitude and his personality, but it's fiction, and I didn't take it too serious, and I didn't become him, you know. Whereas I have had other roles offered to me that I've been so greatly offended by those roles and the way this project was going to be presented that I turned them down as a result. I just didn't want to go there. So it's to the you know, what, in other words, what roles am I willing to play? And if they're coming to me at a time in life when I want to play them, or do I not? And how deep do you want to go? For Peacemaker, it's superficial. It's like, I don't have to go deep. I get it. The guy's a fucking asshole. I know how to do that, you know.
Well, I can't wait to see more of them. now that season 1 is not canon.
Well, I'm not at liberty to discuss or comment on anything in regards to whatever this gentleman is saying over here.
You thought 5 Nights at Snipers were bad.
But you know, for instance, there was a movie called Ed Norton's in it, Eddie Furlong.
It's American History X.
American History. And I had auditioned for that role that I was going to play, and they wanted me to play that part. And it was, I went really deep on it, and I had a bunch of information for them, and I had done a lot of research and stuff. And I was really, really willing to go. And I was kind of gung-ho, and I was getting very excited about playing this very racist individual. And I remember the director called me and asked me why I had decided to turn it down. Excuse me. And I said, if you want me to go this deep, this is really going to be fucked up for me, and you're going to have to pay for it. And the money that you offered me is not enough, and I'm not going to sacrifice my disposition at this time because I'm about to have my first kid. My daughter was on the way, and I just didn't want to put myself through it, so I declined. And I think Stacy Keach ended up playing the part in that movie.
Yeah, I did.
And you know, I'm not disappointed by it because I just felt like I made the right decision at the right time. So that's a long answer.
Thank you, sir.
But ultimately, too, you know, I decide what I want to do.
Yeah.
So if I did it, and I did it, there's reasons, and it doesn't matter to anybody else except me.
Thank you, sir.
Ultimately.
You know, I salute you, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, very kind.
Robert the Butcher.
Bob the Butcher.
Bob the Butcher, yeah. So this is going to have a little bit of a run-up, and it's going to sound a little bit pretentious.
All right, I'll sit back.
So, I have a list of movies that I consider to be some of the greatest satires of all time. And one of your movies is one of them. And you're going to laugh when you hear what it is. Double Dragon.
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon.
It's a wonderfully bad movie.
It is.
Mark Dacascos.
And I want to tell you right now, that is the most money I've ever made on a movie. I was paid an outrageous amount of money.
You are the reason why
You know
I
what?
crack my knuckles
I
with
would
that.
do it again tomorrow.
I think Mark Dacascos would do it too.
But
He made a good bit of money on that too.
But I gotta ask, were the satirical elements in there in the original script? Because you have LA is like a smog, and everybody has to walk around with
Well, it's
oxygen
based
masks
on
and
it's
stuff like
based
that.
on a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who wrote it, who created it. Jim Yukich was the director. Alan Schechter, great guy that had produced a couple of movies that I had done. He started with Joel Silver. He was behind it. Some other guys, independent producers behind it. And it's based on that arcade game, which I don't know anything about, but yeah, it was a really good payday for me.
It's definitely one of my favorite.
I will tell you that my highfalutin agents that went with me to see that movie were not my agents very much longer. They looked at that movie and looked at me and were like, what the fuck?
As I said, it's one of my favorite movies from my childhood, and it's, as I was saying, you're the reason why I crack my knuckles like that, because you did that so much in that movie. That was your trademark.
I had fun.
And
We shot it in Cleveland, Ohio, too.
Oh wow! And as I said, I consider it one of the greatest satires.
Well, thank you, sir.
So
You and very few other people.
thanks very much.
There's another one back there.
There's one more back there. There's two of you.
Yeah, right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob.
Somebody asked me at this convention, was that a wig? Because my character's platinum white hairdo. No, they dyed my hair.
Oh my God! I remember now.
Yeah, had that white hair.
Did you have goatee?
Yeah, black goatee.
Yes,
Crazy.
I remember that.
This guy tried to get a picture from me today. I wouldn't let him do it.
So you will be next, and then those will be our
Yes,
last
sir.
three there.
Hi, my question is about T2. What about the character that wasn't in the script that you added to the performance to give it your own personal touch?
Everything that you saw that I did in the movie, I created in my audition.
Oh.
That's how bang on I was. Dead serious.
Thank you.
And then Jim was like, just keep going. Because I hadn't even read the script when I was doing the audition. But everything you see, I came up with in the audition. I don't know how it happened, man.
Good strength. That's cool.
I think, you create an intense presence. Okay. This is what I got. What are you thinking about? He would say, what are you thinking about? Once I got where I was working with Jim, I would tell him, well, I'm thinking that I should swim like a shark. As I walk or as I scan, I'm looking for the natural animal world that kind of pick up insight. How do I create constant moving forward? I want to try to make my head look like an eagle. So I look like I'm constantly in advance. So it's constantly like I'm searching you out. This is just shit that I was making up and, trying to create on the spot. But that's what acting is. How do I, if I'm a little kid, if you told a little kid, hey, kid, make yourself look like an eagle. You know what I mean? That's what acting is.
Is there a way that you could consider taking that picture with him?
What did he say?
Would you reconsider taking that picture with him? How about without Jack?
Give me $100. Other people did.
Well, thank you.
Welcome to Canada.
Yo,
Will Smith.
what's going on, Will?
like looks like Uncle Phil.
Bill and
Uncle Phil.
We make a TV show. We make a TV show. Me and
You guys should, yeah. Quincy Jones produced that too, man. Did you know that?
I did know that. Yeah, of course. Right at the end, Quincy Jones production.
Quincy Jones.
My Quincy Jones tribute. Did you know Rashida Quincy's daughter?
Yes, I did.
There you go. Sorry, I'm
Beautiful.
sorry.
Beautiful.
Sorry, Will.
Go ahead, Will.
So I know a lot of like actors are kind of desensitized to seeing themselves on film, but like Terminator 2, fucking mind blowing. Like shit's blowing up. You're running down the fucking road. It's pretty fucking amazing. Like how were you reacting when you saw yourself like in the theater when you went to go see it?
Okay. So as I said, I was in training for T2 when I made that movie. And then Jim Cameron very nicely got me 20 tickets to go see it when it came out in the Cinerama Dome on Sunset Boulevard. And I lived in an apartment building in Hollywood, so I had 20 of my friends come over and go with me, and we walked from my apartment down to the Cinerama Dome. No bullshit. A couple of blocks. We all walked together. But in my apartment, before we left, I smoked a shitload of dope. I got so fucking high. And I hadn't been smoking weed while I was doing the movie. I got super high. And I went into the Cinerama Dome, and I sat there with my 20 friends and my wife, and I watched it, and it blew my mind. A screen like that, I'm like, oh God. It was amazing.
But how was it when you were sober?
It was amazing. That was the most fun I had. That was probably, outside of watching it one more time with my adult children, well, they were teenagers at the time. I went to a screening about 10 years ago with my teenage kids so that they could see it, and did a little Q&A after, and that was kind of fun to see. But I don't like to watch my stuff as a rule. But that particular one was kind of interesting. And no, I don't smoke marijuana anymore, so.
Put it away, Steve. Put it away.
I've been sober for 28 years, so. Not that
It is.
means but that's very nice of you.
It is weird that they have the new sober, is the California sober,
What is California sober?
where you quit everything except for weed.
Oh, I don't want to say anything, that's bullshit. I'm pretty straight-laced, outside of, maybe taking a straight edge. But I have to take Advil from time to time. I have a lot of things.
Well, thank you, Will.
But outside of that, I'm sober.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Uncle Phil.
Thank
You, Dr. Phil. Thank you. I feel like I'm doing one of those shows, yes.
you. Last question of the evening, and then we're going to let this fine gentleman out of here.
Goodbye, Canada.
What do you got, sir?
If you were to film another season of Scorpion, which would you do?
Wow.
Scorpion, or what was it?
I like this guy. I like you, buddy. There's two roles that I played that are my favorite roles. And this is, I think, kind of telling where I'm at. The two roles that are my most favorite characters are the most genuine, two of the best characters that have ever been written for me, because they're good guys. One is John Doggett on the X-Files. He's a great guy, he had a great heart. And the second one is Kate Gallup. So I enjoy those two roles. Those are my favorite characters I've ever played. I always thought I was going to be a good guy. Who knew I was going to be a villain? I didn't know that. I had no idea. So, Scorpion.
Great
Thanks,
question.
buddy. Great question, kiddo.
Great question, great answer.
The unit guy was a great guy, except that he was having sex with his men's wives when they were on missions, which is not a good thing.
Just want you to know, he's not talking about me though, okay? I want to point that out to all of you. Some of you know I looked at my face like,
Colonel Ryan would send guys out on mission and then be shacking up with their wives, and that's not a good thing.
I thought that's why it was called the unit.
Oh, I thought that's why he was the drill sergeant.
Who said that? Oh, that was you? Of course it was. Of course it was you.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you been entertained here today?
Okay.
Thank you. I want to thank you so much. Let's hear it for the one